Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Sankofa University, the YouTube channel. This platform is dedicated to uplifting African people throughout the diaspora, wherever you are, whether you're in America, whether you're in Caribbean, South America, Central America, Europe, Africa, wherever you are. If you are Black, if you are African, this channel is for you. So thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. I'm your host, Ama, coming to you from Maryland. And be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Be sure to uh be sure to click on your notifications, hit that notification button so you can get updates on future episodes. Be sure to share this content to anyone who is interested in this information. And again, thank you for tuning in for tonight's show. I'm not going to be on here for too long because I have work tomorrow, and also I'm hungry. I'm a bit hungry. All I had was breakfast, a cookie, and some water. So I'm not going to be on here for too long. But I really wanted to get on here and discuss the topic at hand with you guys about Black Lives Matter. But before I dive into today's episode, I do have an announcement that's very important. We're going into May. Um, and aside from it being my birthday month, May 17th, I might do like a birthday episode if I feel like it. But on August 27th, 2022, there will be a nationwide Race First rally taking place in different cities across the country. I'm going to pull up the flyer right now. Bear with me, you guys. This is my first time sharing my screen. So, let's see. Windows, Chrome tab, Twitter. Here we go. So, as you can see, there'll be a Race First rally taking place on August 27th, 2022, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And these are some of the cities that will be participating. We got Baltimore, Maryland, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Gulfport, Mississippi, Cincinnati, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, Tallahassee, Florida, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and other cities as well, as you guys can see on the flyer. So please, if you are interested, be sure to tune in or plug into any of these Race First rallies. If you are living in any of these cities, please attend one of them. This is about us coming together as a people, us putting our resources together as a people. This is not about hate or spite towards other races. This is about us coming together as a people and doing what's best for us, putting our needs as a people first, economically, spiritually, socially, culturally, etc. So please, if you're interested, please attend one of these rallies. If you don't see your city on here, you are more than welcome to inquire about hosting a Race First rally in your city. Serious inquiries only, and I will post the information on here on StreamYard. So again, that is racefirstmovement@gmail.com. I will be sharing that. So if you're interested, please contact this email address, racefirstmovement@gmail.com, as you can see on the screen. If you have any inquiries, please check out that email. If you're interested in contributing to the Race First movement, check out this Cash App, $ Race First Movement, $ Race First Movement. So, yeah, I am not the organizer or leader of any of these rallies taking place. I am simply the messenger. So that is in August. We're almost 4 months away, almost 3 months away. I'm going into May. So please get ready. It's time to get organized. So, that's it. So for today's topic, I'll be talking about Black Lives Matter. And this is the second time I'll be discussing them. I've already expressed my thoughts and opinions towards them on my podcast on Anchor. If you have not done so, please check out Anchor and Spotify for the Sankofa University podcast. If you have not done so already, the links will be in the description. If they're not there, I'll post them after the show, but they should be there. Um, I did a brief discussion on Black Lives Matter and why I don't support them. But this time, I'm going in again because of the foolishness that they've been up to, specifically misallocating the funds. They decided to take millions of dollars that they've gained from black people and from all these major corporations and decided to go on a shopping spree. If you are still supporting Black Lives Matter after this, after what I'm going to discuss, and even after what other people have said, I'm sorry, you just playing yourself and you just a fool because I got all the receipts lined up. Other people have done discussions on this organization. So please, let's put our think caps on and let's dive into this organization known as Black Lives Matter. Um, they've collected $90 million from different companies, from different communities um, within America, specifically the Black community, to be specific. And yeah, you know what, family? When I think of Black Lives Matter, I don't think of when I think of BLM, the acronym BLM, I don't think of Black Lives Matter. You know what I think of? I'll put it up right here. You know what? When people say Black Lives Matter, this is what I think of. Buying luxury mansions because that's exactly what they've been doing. When I see those three letters, that's all I think of. Because that's what they've been doing, right? They've been taking black people's money, the people's money, money from organizations and charities, and they use it to buy these mansions. And recently, the main chapter, the national chapter of Black Lives Matter, they recently brought a 60, no, not 60, a $6 million home in California. I'm gonna pull it up right now because I got my receipts lined up for this show. Now I am sharing my screen, so please bear with me. This is the first time I'm doing this, so please bear with me as I pull up the article. Just give me 1 second. All right, people, you clearly see it. This is the article from the Intelligencer. Let me get out of here. So, Black Lives Matter strictly brought a $6 million house. Allies and critics alike have questioned to where the organization's money has gone. Um, so basically, let's see. So we have the three founders: Patrice Cullors, Alicia Garcia, and Melina Abdullah. They were celebrating um the anniversary, so to speak, or discussing the anniversary of George Floyd's murder. And they discussed their racial justice work and the difficulties they faced throughout the year. Um, but I don't see how buying a $6 million house ties back into racial justice. You know what I mean? I think they've attempted to cancel us, but they have not been successful in canceling us. They attempted to say that she bought some damn houses. We're going to cancel her. Well, the thing is, you did buy all these houses. You can try to run away from it. You can try to deny, but that's exactly what you did. Um, so this house is 6,500 square feet, more than a half a dozen bedrooms and bathrooms, several fireplaces, a soundstage, a pool, bungalow, parking for more than 20 cars. Um, and look, the California property was purchased for nearly 60 million in cash on October 2020, the same year that George Floyd was murdered, with money that had been donated to Black Lives Matter, GNF, the Global Network Foundation. So, my question is this: how is buying a $6 million mansion fighting racial injustice? How is that fighting white terrorism, so to speak? I don't use the term white supremacy because there's nothing supreme about what these people do. Um, but the term is systemic racism. Um, but yeah, I don't use the term white supremacy on this platform. I use the term white terrorism. Makes sense. But they have collected $90 million from the George Floyd protest, from black communities, from all these different corporations donating to them, and they use it to buy a mansion. And that's something that they've always been doing. This isn't the first time they've been caught buying mansions, um, buying all these expensive houses with money, donation money. I really want to know, how does this benefit black people as a whole? It doesn't. Now it says here that the house is going to serve as a studio space for the recipients of the Black Joys Creators Fellowship. But the thing is, though, why is this? But the statement didn't address why, if the house was primarily intended to be a creative space. Relatively little content has been produced over there over the course of 17 months. So they say it's going to be used for something else, but really, it's not. They brought it for themselves. They brought it for themselves. Very suspicious. But again, how is buying a mansion, how does that benefit the black community as a whole? It doesn't. Not one penny. So guys, we have to think about this for a second. Right? We got to think, right? Let me go back to the comments here. We have to think about this for a second. They collected $90 million. $90 million. This money could have been used in so many beneficial ways. Like, think about it. Oh, let me take this banner off. My bad, y'all. So, yeah, as I was saying, this money could have been used in so many different ways. Think about it. We could have used this money to support community centers or daycare programs. That way, black children have something to keep them off the street. That way, they can have something to do after school. They couldn't use this money to support black businesses, especially ones that got hit by this pandemic. Think about it. A lot of black businesses got hit by this pandemic, and yet they couldn't use the money in a productive way, right? This money could be used not only to support black businesses, but also, by supporting those black businesses, give black people jobs in their communities by their people. They could have used this money to support African-centered schools or black schools for our children, so that way, they gain the proper education on their history and on their culture, right? That's what this money could have been used for, but no. They decided to go use it on some mansions. All they can do is just buy mansions and using people's money, black people's money, and their bodies. And it doesn't even stop there, you guys. Patrisse Cullors, apparently, she stepped down last year due to criticism and controversy over buying 3 homes. She bought 3 houses in Atlanta and Los Angeles. Now, again, how is buying mansions in homes uplifting black people? It's not. It's a selfish act, right? This organization has been around since 2013. 2013, right? That means like 9 years. So almost a decade. And what have they done to benefit black people? What have they done to specifically to uplift our community? Nothing. This doesn't help us. How is buying mansions helping us as a people? And I'm probably being repetitive here, but it's a serious question that we have to ask, because there is no nation building coming from this group whatsoever. This money was used for selfish reasons. We gotta be honest with that, right? And again, they said they were going to use it for our Black Joy Creators Fellowship. but we haven't seen any updates regarding the mansion, and how it's being used for this fellowship. We haven't heard anything. So once again, Black Lives Matter has pimped off of Black people's suffering, bodies, and trauma, uh, to collect money for selfish reasons. You guys are probably wondering, like, why is Alma looking down? I have a script here, folks, because I have a lot to say. I'm not going to be here for too long, but I'm going to give you what I got. And this isn't the first time that Black Lives Matter has misappropriated funds. This isn't the first time. Let's go back to 2020. So that was 2 years ago in Atlanta, Georgia. The same year that George Floyd was murdered, where Sir Major Page abused $200,000 in donations for himself. Let's look at the video. I'm going to pull up the video and y'all can see it for yourselves. All right, so let's go.
Leader of a group called Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta was arrested by the FBI today on fraud charges. Agents raided a home in Toledo, Ohio, and arrested Sir Major Page, whose real name is Tyree Conyers Page. He's accused of using more than $200,000 in donations from the Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta social media page to pay for personal items. That includes food, entertainment, furniture, and tailored suits. The FBI says he told people asking about the money that it would be going to causes related to social justice and the George Floyd case. Sir Major Page's organization is not affiliated with Black Lives Matter of Atlanta, despite having a similar name.
So, as we can see here, once again, people abusing the people's money for their own selfish gain. Now, in the end, Page was arrested and charged with wire fraud and money laundering. But yeah, this is something that we're constantly seeing. People taking advantage of Black bodies and Black suffering for their own personal gain. Now, we're going to go over to Canada. Why? This is where it gets interesting, folks. This is where it gets interesting. So, apparently, Black Lives Matter transferred funds to this Canadian charity. Hold on for a second. I'm trying to get out of here. Okay, let's go. Let's share the screen. Guys, be patient with me. I'm toggling in between different screens here. Okay, here we go. Can y'all see that? So here we go. Black Lives Matter transferred millions to a Canadian charity ran by the wife of co-founder Patrice Cullors to purchase a sprawling mansion that had once served as the headquarters of a communist party. M4BJ, a Toronto-based nonprofit set up by Shania Khan and other Canadian activists, snagged a 10,000 square foot historic property for the equivalent of $6.3 million in cash in July 2021. Again. So here we go. Look, she resigned from the group last year. So talking about Patrice Cullors. She resigned from the group last year, a month after the Post revealed that she had spent $3.2 million on homes in Georgia and Los Angeles. Cullors vigorously denied that the BLM donations were used to buy homes. Now, see, right there, she stepped down from the organization, but she denies that the money was used to buy homes. Let's think about this for a second, folks. Excuse me. Let's think about this for a second. If you're not guilty, why are you stepping down? If you're not guilty of buying homes with donation money, why are you stepping down? If you're not guilty, you have nothing to hide, right? If someone accuses me of something that I know I didn't do, well, I have nothing to worry about. No, I didn't do it because I'm not guilty of doing what I was accused of, right? She just told on herself by doing that. Why would you step down from the organization if you're not guilty? She just flat out told on herself, right? So we've seen time and time again of how Black Lives Matter has pimped Black people. Um, they have this cycle of, unfortunately, Black Lives Matter has this cycle of black jumping onto Black protests against racial injustice, right? And look, this is Patrice Colors. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so I can get back to you guys. Hold on for a quick second here. Okay. So Black Lives Matter has this tendency to jump onto these protests, fighting against racial injustice, racism, police brutality, right? Then they hijack these movements, collect millions of dollars in funds and in donations, gain national attention, right? And then when the heat dies down, and when the water begins to settle a bit, they dip. They straight up dip with the money, and then they go use it to buy some homes or something that does not benefit Black people as a whole, and then the cycle begins once more. They disappear from the community, and it's like, well, where'd you go? Then they go off and buy mansions on this mansion buying home buying spree for themselves. So this just goes to show you guys that from the beginning, this organization was never about Black lives, really. It was never about healing or uplifting the community. This movement was about profiting off of Black bodies and trauma under the guise of we're fighting for racial injustice and equality. We're fighting against police brutality. And I'm not saying that there's not any genuine chapters out there that do want to do well by the community. Now, I'm going to talk about that. Excuse me. I'm going to talk about that and coming up soon. But when it comes down to the national chapter, they just went shady all over. And then you have chapters like the one in Atlanta, Georgia, where this guy here he takes money and uses it for himself. And that just goes to show you guys, like we got to be very careful when we hop onto these movements. We have to be very critical, and we have to put our thinking cap on. We got to think critically. Just because something has the word black slapped onto it, it doesn't mean it's necessarily for Black people. I'm gonna say it again. Just because something or organization or a group or whatever, just because it has the word black slapped onto it, it doesn't necessarily mean it's all about or for Black people. That's why we gotta think critically before we hop onto these movements or these organizations that really don't mean us well. Right now, many people in the community have tried to warn us about Black Lives Matter, including the late Darren Seals. For those who don't know, he was a Ferguson activist. He was on the ground when Michael Brown was murdered in Ferguson. Um, and he really saw Black Lives Matter for what it truly was. And unfortunately, not many people listened to him. Um, Now, the Black Lives Matter movement took off with Trayvon Martin. Well, it started with Trayvon Martin to say, if you could say that. But then it really, really took off when Michael Brown was murdered by police officers. That's when the movement like really gained ground. That's when the movement took off full flight, if you want to say that, if you want to call it that. But yeah, Seals was a huge critic of the Black Lives Matter movement. Um, Basically saying how they hijacked protests, but did not give back to the communities. In this case, the Ferguson community that was really hurt by Michael Brown's death. Again, stealing from the community, getting attention and clap, but giving nothing back in return. Now, he's not the only one that has called out Black Lives Matter for what it truly is. Michael Brown Sr., right? Michael Brown Sr., the father of Michael Brown, he even called out Black Lives Matter, um, calling them out again for what they truly are. So we are going to go to that article, and we are going to see what happened, see what he has to say. So we're going to share a screen. All right. Let's see here. Yeah. Michael Brown Sr. joins those who want answers in the Black Lives Matter movement. Okay. This is Black Enterprise, by the way. They want answers. They want more answers as to where the money or the funds are going. So let's dive into that, right? Michael Brown Sr., whose 18-year-old son was shot and killed by police in Ferguson, Missouri, has joined growing calls to know what the Black Lives Matter 90 million in funds have been used for. We already know what they used it for. They used it on mansions for themselves. So Michael Brown Sr. has joined BLM 10 Plus, which is a group consisting of the original BLM chapters. The group is seeking additional transparency and accountability from the Black Lives Matter organization on how the funds are being used. So, again, I'm mainly talking about the national chapter here. Of course, we had that incident in Atlanta, Georgia, where that guy he took money, but you do have organizations out here, Black Lives Matter chapters out here, that I think generally care and they really want to know where the money is going. They want to do well by the community, but it's the national chapter that's being completely fraudulent, right? The situation stems from former BLM co-founder Patrice Cullors, who resigned last month. This was like a couple of years ago after her 3.2 million property portfolio was revealed. It has been determined that Color's properties were bought with funds she received from public speaking engagements and books she's written. Now, she denied that she's using the funds to buy homes, but she just told on herself when she stepped down. If you're not guilty, why would you step down? That doesn't make any sense. According to the Daily Mail, Black Lives Matter has received 90 million last year and has a balance sheet of 60 million by the end of the year. About 8 million has been spent on staffing and another 20 million have been donated to local BLM chapters and nonprofits. The surplus of money, along with the news of Color's property portfolio, has led to complaints concerning a lack of transparency from the families of victims who previously supported the organization. Right? Now, it's not only Michael Brown Sr. that's calling them out. You have other parents who lost their loved ones to police brutality that also want answers. They also joined the BLM 10 plus group, including Samaria Rice, sorry, the mother of Tamir Rice, who was murdered by police in 2014, Lisa Simpson, whose son Richard Risher, hope I'm pronouncing that right, who was killed by LA police in 2016. So here we have people wanting answers. And it doesn't stop there, you guys. Again, you can read the article for yourself. In the meantime, but it doesn't stop there. Even Breonna Taylor's mother, she wanted answers as to where the money was going. Let's see how I get out of this. Okay, I'm out of this. All right. Right, okay. But she even wanted answers as to where the money was going. She went out to call them frauds because that's exactly what they are. Um, they go out and buy some mansions but can't do jack for the community. Right? Apparently Ferguson and Michael Brown Sr. they wanted let's see. They wanted how much money? They wanted money. They demanded money from Black Lives Matter to be used to help rebuild the Ferguson community because of the damage that has been done in the wake of Michael Brown's death. Now, here we go. They wanted $20 million to help out rebuild the community and to support Black activists within the town. But they didn't do that, apparently. They go out and buy some mansions and then give Michael Brown's father a measly $500. And I can show you that right now. Seriously. Like, again, time and time again, we see these organizations, well, this organization using money, the people's money, for their own personal gain. And it's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Let's see here. Let's see if I can pull up the video. Give me 1 second, you guys. I think I found the video. So, let's go. Right. So you were seeing that they're demanding accountability, which is legitimate.
Greetings. I'm Tory Russell, Ferguson frontline organizer, and on the behalf of many activists in the St. Louis area, I'm joined with Mike Brown Sr., the father of Mike Brown Jr. Today, we hold Black Lives Matter accountable. The movement that is catapulted into the limelight has forgotten about Ferguson and the freedom fighters. Freedom fighters like King D. Sears, Edward Crawford, and Diane Jones have literally given their lives to the struggle, but are rarely spoken about and families are not taken care of. Brother Ali, Joshua Williams, and many other political prisoners from the Ferguson movement are incarcerated or have been, and still has received no assistance from Black Lives Matter. What kind of movement are we building where we're saying Black Lives Matter, but the freedom fighters and the families are being left behind? Where is our restitution? Where is our organizing? Where is our building of a movement? We have groups like the Lost Voices and the Freedom Fighters here, and thousands of other youth activists in their 20s and 30s have been out in the streets protesting for months and months and years for years, still forgotten. We're asking that Black Lives Matter leadership funds $20 million to Ferguson organizers, organizations, and community foundations to do the work. We're not begging for a handout. We're coming for what we deserve. Today, as we demand the $20 million to go to Ferguson as restorative measures so we can continue what we started, here's what we'll be organizing. Annual commemorations around Mike Brown Jr.'s life, mutual aid programs, Black Panther style programs and services to meet the needs of the people, community gardens and farms, and also organizing fellowships and stipends so we can fight white supremacy full time. This is what we started in Ferguson, and this is what we will continue.
So here we have a movement in Ferguson. These two brothers here and activists in the Ferguson community wanting to do well by the community, but Black Lives Matter just hadn't let them in the dust. Just let them in the dust to dry, let them in the air to dry, and they go out and buy some matches for their own personal gain. Which goes to show you that this movement wasn't about really about Black lives. It was really about pimping black people for their money, using black bodies, bloodshed and trauma for their own personal gain. Right? So this movement, these three women, right, these founders of this movement, they straight up fraudulent. Straight up. They were never about making a positive impact in the community. They just wanted to pimp off black bodies for money. Right? Now let's go back to the money really quick. So, Black Lives Matter, um, they are considered what is known as a 501c3 organization. They're considered nonprofit, right? And when you have a nonprofit like Black Lives Matter, you have to fill out a form called a 990. You have to fill out this form, and it's basically asking you, what are you doing with the money? How much did you raise, etc. Right? They're a nonprofit, but they still have to answer as to what they're doing with the money. Makes perfect sense. This form is also a public form that can be shared with the public, so that way people know what you're doing. What are you doing with the money that we gave to you? Seems fair, right? So, um, let's see here. Every nonprofit organization that's exempt from taxes has to fill out this form. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm kind of like kind of tired of it, but bear with me. Thank you for tuning in. But basically, every nonprofit organization has to do this to remain in compliance. Well, Patrice Cullors has a problem with that because apparently um, this filling out this Form 990 is somehow unsafe for her. Apparently she wants to be exempt from the rule so that way she can steal money. But that's not going to slide. The IRS is not going to let you get away with that with the bunny. So let's go to that, right? Oh yes, I got my videos all lined up here. All right. So let's see here. Oh, hold on for a second. Got to pull the video up. My bad. But basically, she wants to be exempt from the rule, so that way she can steal. But that's not gonna slide. Again, she's just telling on herself when she doesn't want to be transparent. If you're not stealing money, why are you being so secretive as to what you're doing with this? Someone asked you to fill out a Form 990, that should be an issue if you're not stealing. But apparently she is stealing. And we're gonna find out, right? And we're gonna dive into that right now. So let's go. Just waiting for the ad to clear up. All right, you guys, let's go. All right, so apparently she's somehow triggered by the 990 form or charity rules. So here we go, guys. This is the video.
This is live in Los Angeles. Hi, William.
Well, Dana, every year you file a tax return, right? Well, for a nonprofit like BLM, that's IRS Form 990. It's basic. It's a bare minimum that states require when you raise public money. So listen to what founder and BLM's longtime executive director said Friday about the 990 and this controversy about how the charity has spent its money.
I actually did not know what 990s were before all of this happened. The accountant handled that. Like, I don't know what that is. It is such a trip now to hear the word, the term 990s. I'm like, ugh, it's like triggering.
How is it triggering?
Becoming the leader of a 60.
Oh, sorry, you guys. So, how is it triggering to have to fill out a form that every nonprofit has to complete? Every nonprofit has to complete this form. So, I don't see how colors is triggering. How is she triggered by this? The only way you will be triggered is if you're stealing money. If you weren't stealing money, if you were doing what you were supposed to do with the money, doing right by that community, well, then you should have no problem filling out this form. It's very simple. Okay. Fill out the 990 form. Let's see what you're doing with the money, right? Well, if you're not guilty, this shouldn't be an issue, but she is guilty. She is guilty of stealing money. And yet she wants to play the victim.
$100 million or more nonprofit is not a hobby. This is not a private social club where its members get to decide how money is used.
So watchdog groups have slapped a big red flag on BLM, saying they see no paper trail, no financial statements, no documents in the last 22 months explaining where up to $90 million came from or how it was spent.
For us to not know in a timely manner how $60 to $100 million of public money is being spent is pretty outrageous. And it's definitely not something that I have seen in my 18 years of functioning in this watchdog role.
So the last 990 that BLM did file, January to June 2020, showed the group raised no money, spent no money, and paid no employees, despite donations nationwide during the protests following the death of George Floyd. Color says that no 990 having it, no big deal. And some disagree and have opened investigations.
Part of the opportunity here is to educate our folks. Like, something's being weaponized against us that many people don't even know and honestly don't care about.
We're going to find out. We're going to go where the facts lead us, of course. And if they don't lead us anywhere, we're going to stop. But we suspect this is, in fact, a house of cards.
So BLM is due to file a 2020 990 next month. Dana, not as complete as an audited financial statement, but it's a start.
Okay, so again, so here Patrice Cullors wants to play the victim. Oh, this 990 form is triggering. It's being weaponized against us. If you're not guilty of misappropriating funds, why are you tripping over filling out a 990 form? Right? Where did you get the money? How's it being spent? How much did you get? That's all they're asking on the 990 form, right? But she wants to play the victim. She wants to be exempt from the rule so that way she can steal money. That's basically what it's boiled down to. She wants to play the victim and be exempt from the rule so that way she can continue her mansion house shopping spree. So that way she can continue to spend the money on herself and the other leaders. That way they can keep doing what they want to do and not be held accountable for it, right? When you collect millions of dollars from people, you owe them answers. When you collect money from the black community, yes, you owe us some answers. Especially if you're not using it in a way that's going to uplift us as a people. I mean, that only makes sense. But no, she wants to play the victim. But you know what? The real victims in this situation, it's not you. It's the people that you took money from and the communities that depended on you, like Ferguson, and you just left them in the dust. You just left them hanging out to dry, right? The real victims are the parents who lost their children to police brutality, and they looked for you, up to you, for help. And yet you pimped off of their deaths, you monetized their deaths, so that way you can make money and go spend it on some mansions, right? They don't want to be transparent about the money because they know that they're guilty. That's all there is to it, you guys, right? Again, you took $90 million from the community and from all these different corporations that were, um, right, supporting George Floyd in terms of like supporting him and his family seeking justice for his murder. Um, but yeah, you collect all this money, you owe us some answers. It only makes sense. If you don't want to answer, or be transparent, we have the right to question you. We have the right to not trust you because you violated the trust already. You violated the trust, you know? But that money isn't going back in the community. That money is going straight into these women's pockets, these so called leaders. And you know what's funny, you guys? You know what's interesting? You know, recently, for those who don't know, Dr. Umar Johnson, he recently got a cease and desist letter, apparently, telling him to stop taking funds for the FDMG school, the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey school that he's trying to open. And you have people that are criticizing him, very skeptical where the money is going, right? They're skeptical, like, what you doing with the money? It's been 10 years. Um, where's the money going? He's a fraud. Okay, well, I need everybody who's like that, everybody who thinks like that towards Dr. Umar, I need y'all to give that same energy towards Black Lives Matter. Give that same energy. Because look, the same people that criticize Umar, I don't see them going after Black Lives Matter. I don't see them going after Patrice Cullors and the other founders of Black Lives Matter, or the ones that take the money. I don't see them holding this group accountable. These are the people that we need to be holding accountable in our communities, right? These are the people that we need to check in our communities. Y'all just criticize and scrutinize and crucify Dr. Umar, and he's trying to get to school. Apparently, he has the buildings. It's just renovation and all that stuff. But look, we see what the money went to in that instance. Or it went to a school. It went to doing something for the benefit of Black people. In this case, Black children. What has Black Lives Matter done to benefit Black people? Well, the people they took money from, not a thing. They go and they spend money on these luxury houses and homes, right? That doesn't help us as a community. That doesn't get us anywhere, right? Again, at least Dr. Umar spent the money in a way that's going to uplift Black people. I'm gonna open up a school for young black boys, so that way they can have a decent education on their history and culture. But no, these women again, they went out here and bought some mansions, right? But I feel like that's one of the problems in our communities. Like when you see someone that's trying to do something good for the community, or someone that's trying to do well by the community, like, hey, I'm trying to open up a school, I'm trying to start a business or whatever, um, they're easily attacked or get scrutinized, or they don't get that much support. But when a mainstream organization like Black Lives Matter comes along, we jump on board. They take our money, they'll take our money and pimp off of us, and they're silent. Again, the same energy that y'all gave Dr. Umar, I'ma need it for Black Lives Matter, right? Because they literally ran with the bag. They ran with the bag. Okay. Now we have to think critically. All right, I'm gonna close off right here. So it's almost been an hour, so stay with me. But we really have to think critically when it comes down to supporting these organizations, right? Why would a black organization gain so much nationwide attention and so much acceptance? Do you think that a black organization is truly in the best interest of black people is going to gain so much um, acceptance or attention? No. I mean, let's look at the Black Panthers, for example, right? Look at the Black Panthers, right? The Black Panther Party for Self Defense back in like the 60s and the 70s, they didn't get national acceptance or praise from the mainstream dominant society. No, they got attacked. You had leaders like Fred Hampton, he got assassinated. They got labeled as black identity extremists. You also saw Judas and the Black Messiah. If you haven't, you need to go watch it. But basically, um, that's just one. You have Asada Shakur from the Black Liberation Army. She got chased out the country. She literally got chased out of the country um, for fighting for, again, black liberation and um, black autonomy, African sovereignty. So we really have to think critically when it comes down to these organizations. Like I said before, just because someone has the word black slapped onto it, or the organization, if an organization has the word black slapped onto it, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're for black people. So we gotta think critically. We gotta use our thinking caps. But look, Black Lives Matter goes on to win a Nobel Peace Prize. You can Google this, but I don't see any other black organization receiving nationwide or positive attention or recognition. So again, we really got to think critically before we jump onto these movements, right? And that kind of brings me back to the race first movement that's going to be taking place, or the rally is going to be taking place in August, specifically August 27th. Let's see here. I'm just trying to pull it up. Yep, August 27th, 2022. Um, we're gonna have a nationwide race first rally um this coming August. So that's literally almost 3 months from now because this month is almost out, basically. So if you are interested in supporting the race first movement, if you want to support a movement that is genuine, trying to help the community, again, you can donate to Race First Movement, Cash App, $ Race First Movement. If you have any inquiries or any questions about the Race First Movement, you can always email racefirstmovement@gmail.com. Again, I am not the leader of the Race First Movement. I'm not the founder. I am just simply spreading the message along so that way you can spread the message along and support someone that's going to do the best for all of us as a people. Not going around buying mansions and buying things that don't do us well as a people. So, yeah, I really don't have much to say here. Again, I didn't want this show to be too long. I just wanted to get on here to just share my thoughts on this fraudulent movement, so-called Black Lives Matter. They say they call themselves Black Lives Matter, yet all they do is spin off of Black lives. So Black lives do matter when you're trying to make money, just not when it's time to rebuild the community and do nation building or do for self. So I am gonna log off for now. This is thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching this. If you're catching the replay, it's gonna be up here and available for those to watch. Um, and just thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Again, if you like this content, if you enjoyed this show, if you want to support the channel, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Um, I really appreciate your support. I really do. Appreciate informing people and just trying to like help to wake our people up because it's beyond overdue. It's needed. We have to come together, and I hope that this platform helps to do that. Um, if you want to, um, if there are certain topics that you want Sankofa University to discuss, you can just put them in the comments below. Not the live stream, of course, but like the comments below after the live stream is over, and just share your thoughts. Like, did you like this episode? What would you like to see? I really appreciate your support, and I do want to make better episodes in the future. I'm working on getting a new backdrop. I mean, I like the red, black, and green flag, but I do want to a backdrop with the Sankofa University logo. So, yeah. Also, Sankofa University, its second anniversary is due in May. It's coming up in May. I might do like a special live stream, or maybe just combine that with my birthday. So I don't know. But I do want to plan an episode for May. That's for sure. So yeah, if you enjoyed this comment on this content, if you enjoyed this content, please comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later on the flip side. This is Ama from Sankofa University signing out. And yeah, take care. Hotep and Hururu. Peace and Black Power.